Hey, hi everybody. Okay, it's very close to Shabbat here in Israel. I just wanted to jump on for a few minutes. Actually, I have more than a few minutes worth of stuff to share, but I'm going to really try to keep it tight for now, and maybe the rest will come later. Anyway, for those of you, many people asking for an update on Hayamushka, Hayamushka Bas Shifra, our beautiful daughter, who is in a tight situation right now in the burn unit ICU in Kansas. I just want to let you know that we really feel so much the power of the prayers and the good actions and the whether it's the challah baking or the tzedakah giving or the davening at grave sites of tzaddikim, or your tehillim, or the generosity, extreme generosity of Chaya's friends. I have to say one in particular, which we will never ever forget. Um, and so much more. I feel, this is new for me because I've never had to reach out in such a way. I never have reached out in such a way as I have been, and it's very against my nature. But the groundswell of support and love and caring and positive actions and prayer and support is just mind blowing. And I can tell you a couple things. It's intensely comforting, intensely. And I think it's deeply healing for all of us, and especially for Chaya. I have no evidence, physical evidence to support this, but I really feel and I really believe, and I intend also, but I really feel that there's the potential for huge, deep healing for Chaya and for all of us, for all of the family. And I don't even think that it's limited to the family, because I think that the fact that so many people are moving to support this beautiful outcome in such a loving, unconditionally loving way, and especially that it's in the 3 weeks that commemorate the destruction of the temple, both temples, and that we are taught that the cure to this is avas chinam, baseless, unconditional love. There are many other reasons also that maybe I will share, at some point in the future, but I really believe that this is a cosmic healing process. And therefore, despite the fact that it's so touchy and so hard, I feel the healing in it more and more and more, like the light to me is growing. And I will say, thank God a million times, Chaya is holding her own. And, so far, so good. And it could have been, it's so far so good. Let's just leave it like that. And please continue anything that you can do on behalf of the healing. And that said, I want to just speak a little bit about the topic, which is so close to me right now, even more than usual, of fear, Amunah, which is faith, bitachon, which is trust, and miracles. So I base so much of what I believe and teach on the discourses, the speeches, the writings of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, all about this time of redemption. He opens a path forward for our transformed behavior, our transformed consciousness, emotions, and actions that provide an open gateway as we step into it, an open gateway into a different reality. It's really a divine transmission. It, like anything that is massively transformational, it requires deep work. So that's what I want to invite here. That's what I'm doing myself. And I want to share it with you as quickly as I can, just because of the time constraint here. And if there's desire, I will say more in the future. So basically, it feels sometimes like the inside needs to be squeezed out so that it shows on the outside. It really feels like that. There's a saying in a phrase, a pasuk in the Torah, mina meitzar karatika, that when we from the constricted places, when I call out to God, to the Creator, Anani, b'merchav He will answer me from a broad space. And this is what it feels like to me tangibly, that the constriction can pull us into ourselves, can shut us down, can destroy us, definitely, often has. or if we just allow it to move us, like I've been saying, and we go even deeper, instead of trying to defend against it. Of course, it goes without saying to do everything we can in every way, spiritually, physically, emotionally, everything to rectify the situation, to create healing, whether it's physical or any other way. But when we allow the event at the end of the day to move us deeper into ourselves, to move us deeper in our connection with Hashem, with God, and that's whether it's personal or the things that are happening globally, the shake up and wake up, then what happens, what seems to happen, is like a metamorphosis, that it's a melting down of the previous level of self and an opening up and a squeezing out, an emergence of, at first, small amounts, like when the butterfly metamorphosis sizes into, the caterpillar transforms into the butterfly, the metamorphosis. It starts with, as Dr. Bruce Lipton says, a few imaginal cells, same DNA, there's a few cells that hold a new vibration, that call upon a new reality, a new vision for that very same caterpillar. It doesn't have to die, but it has to melt. So I feel like that's what's being called out from a lot of us at this time, certainly I feel that's true for me, and I know that it's a cosmic process. So I want to quickly say that this process is not designed to shut us down. It's designed to squeeze us into that new reality, to squeeze out of us the core of the soul that holds within it a possibility and a vision and an energy and a divinity, a power to create a completely new level of life. And that life is miraculous, in the same body, in the same incarnation, in the same relationships, but a shift to the miraculous. And that's what's available here. So really quickly, the difference between Amunah and Bitachon, I want to just talk about this. So fear, we all know what that is, and that's being very, very pumped out into our universe right now. It's not an accident. Yes, there are bad actors. I totally believe that. I know it. And then there are a lot of people who are confused. I guess we're all confused, but underneath, and they're good. There are people who are, it's a spiritual war, no question about it, and it's reflecting itself on the ground in many ways. It doesn't matter where you are with it. That's not the purpose here for this conversation. But we must know that underneath all of it is a divine process. It's the metamorphosis. It's the minametzar. It's the constriction that causes the meltdown, that allows for the new birth. I mean, the birth is just exactly like this. My favorite 3 mashalim analogies for this process is the birth of the child, the hatching of the egg from the constricting shell, and the metamorphosis, which seems like the most intense and deep and the most accurate for how what it takes to get to the, that completely new level of life. That's what Geula is. Geula is not just a giant cosmic force, divine power, cataclysmic or revelatory or whatever, that brings us to suddenly, like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, that everything turns into multicolor. Yes, that I'm sure is part of it, without a doubt, but it's not doesn't seem like it's designed to happen like that, because we are like the antenna, we are like the receivers, like a radio receiver, to receive whatever potential is available in the world. And to the degree that we can tune in to specific potentials and download them, that is the degree to which they seem to come into the world. So what we do, we are the interface between the future and the past. We're the interface between heaven and earth. We're the interface between Galus and Geula, exile and redemption. And we get to take it seriously. So in doing that, the first thing that has to happen is the faith, the belief, which is a super conscious power of the soul that can override our intellect, our human way of understanding things. It can give us a larger context and a sense of more peace and calm, and the ability to step back and see things from that larger perspective, and then to generate, to intuit, and then to follow, to take inspired actions that if we were left in only the state of fear, we would never be able to take, we would never be able to see. That's one level. At the Amunah level, the faith level, it's so important. So many people talk about it, and it's so powerful. It's literally among the highest hidden powers of the soul. But that's stage one. It requires believing that there's a creator, it requires believing that there's a plan, that there's a divine order, that it's being implemented, that it includes you, and that ultimately it's good and loving, even though we don't feel it a lot of the time. So I guess fear is level one. Amunah Faith is level 2, but then there's bitachon. Bitachon is translated as trust. It also could be translated as confidence or security. Those are meanings of the word. And trust includes confidence and security. So imagine that you're fighting a raging river. That would be like a state of, fear. And then you're telling yourself, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. There's a reason for it. That would be like Amunah, if you really feel it, but it won't change, the inner it doesn't internalize. And when it doesn't internalize in that way, if it does, it's already moving out of Amunah into bitachon, into trust. So what is trust? It's like, okay, you let go. You understand that this river is God, that there's nothing but God, and that God loves you intimately, and that everything is designed to bring you into a deeper connection. And you have to do work. There's work, there's deep emotional work, there's deep consciousness work, spiritual work that is involved in that. And I will say why, because I think it's so important that that's what the school of spiritual empowerment is designed to facilitate through the text, through the healing tools, through the community connections, the field that we connect to, the support that we can give each other, the questions asked and answered, so much more. So if you're interested in that, I'll try to remember to put the link on this live, but I'll tell you it's www.gateofunity.com/school. gateofunity.com/school. But whether you choose to be part of the school or not, it doesn't change the fact that what's up for us now is to internalize what is considered a makif, a transcendent power, a soul power of Amunah, of faith. Internalize it until it affects our ability to see the deeper reality, not only with our eyes and mind, but with our hearts and with ourselves. When you can be, and even if for moments in that place, you can feel yourself being lovingly and totally securely carried into the realm of miracles. You're floating. It's not a raging river because you're in a protected, beautiful boat like Moses was, when he was put in the Nile. And you can let go because you're being protected and you're being carried. And not only you're being carried, Amunah, faith, is that deep understanding and awareness and belief that it's all going to be for the good, that in the inner world it's for the good, but not necessarily it's going to show up because maybe it's not really right for it to. Bitachon takes it to a whole new level. We're here to see through the walls and to act accordingly. We're here to connect to God within everything and to act accordingly, including within ourselves, by the way. And when we break through that final barrier of awareness and become congruent and aligned with that, then there is no more reason for any darkness. And that is why the Rebbe, and it's based on sources, including Chovos HaLevavos, the duties of the heart, and so forth, but the Rebbe says in absolutely clear, no uncertain terms, that if you can have, to the degree that you can have, bitachon, this internalized, relaxed, aligned trust in God, that security and confidence that isn't based on logic or the laws of nature, because bitachon takes you right beyond the laws of nature. God is creating the laws of nature, and when you're connected, you're not subject to those laws because you're a partner in co-creating those laws and the outcomes. So that it's a work in progress. It does involve work, but to the degree that you can do it, it's the deep inner work and the deep spiritual work. The degree to which you can accomplish it is the degree to which you can expect and count on miracles. The Rebbe says that to the bitachon, if trust is absolute, then there's an absolute guarantee of a revealed good in the outcome, not just a good. Everything that God does is good. We're just not vessels for that level of good sometimes, which is why things have to come out. I don't have time to go into the details of that right now. In the school, definitely I do. But bitachon, unlike just Amunah, is a guarantee of revealed good. What is revealed good? It means it feels good. It means the miraculous healings, the abundance that we wish for, the love that we crave, the health that we want, the clarity, the upliftment, the peace, the joy, whatever it is that the human heart longs for and the human spirit needs in order to feel good and beloved and totally okay on the ground within the body, not our soul self, but our human self, that is revealed good. And that is, bitachon is the gateway to that. So I just want to I'm being invited into that, and it's, thank God, I'm praying every day to go more deeply into it. I do believe that it is the transition point. I believe it's the bridge that will carry us from the increased chaos and challenge to the serenity and bliss and wonder and joy and gratitude of the other side of this intense constricting process that we're all going through in one way or another. So just remember that it is from fear. Fear is natural and normal. It's being evoked on purpose. There are a lot of reasons for that, but it's an invitation to move beyond the fear by itself into a higher state of consciousness, of belief, of faith, and then from there to internalize that belief and faith, not in the sense that, God is big and we can't understand him, which of course is true, but to the next stage where that huge infinite God that we can't understand loves you so much, so personally, that it doesn't matter what the rules are. When you get to that place of connection, we all know that a parent, the law doesn't necessarily apply. The king doesn't necessarily enact the same decrees on his, beloved child that he might on the servant or on the ordinary person in the population. That's the level that we're being asked to get to. An intimacy, a deep intimacy that allows us to know that we're unconditionally loved. And to respond, it doesn't come for free. It takes a lot of work. And when you know that you're unconditionally loved and you've worked for it, not like a little child that it comes to automatically, because we are partners in creation. We need to co-create. We need to be conscious. But when you have worked for that and you know it, then automatically you love back. And you don't have to be told to do good and to be good. And it's not because of reward and punishment. It's because you're in love and because you're together. And when you're together, you don't have to worry about anything. It's all taken care of. And that, I want to say with deep gratitude to Hashem, is how I'm feeling a lot of the time right now. And I do want to repeat, and I do deeply believe that my ability to be experiencing this right now is because of your prayers, your good deeds, the fact that you're reaching out from your soul and your heart to us. Some of you know us well, some of you don't barely know us at all. I'm amazed every day, and not just every day, every time I open my WhatsApp or my Facebook or whatever, I'm amazed and I'm in deep gratitude. And I do know that miracles are happening, and I do know that they're not just happening for us, but that this is a cosmic transformation point, a cosmic healing point, and everybody who's involved gets to draw from that, and that will only grow, please God. So with that, I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom, a blessed and peaceful Shabbat, and thank you, and I'll see you on the other side. Mwah. Lots of love.